Hi, my name is Olga Willner and I'm a professor for information management with a focus on intelligent systems at HTW Berlin. First of all, I would like to thank the LoRa Alliance and Minol Senna for the opportunity to speak here. Some of you might know me from the past. I was the one working at Deutsche Bahn and running around with a portable LoRa station clock. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about. Today, I will talk about why technical education is such a necessary enabler for having LoRaWAN actually contribute to society. And first of all, I do believe that it is technical education which is needed to leverage the positive impact of LoRaWAN on society. I mean, in Europe, you can really see that in the beginning, LoRaWAN was adopted by the maker community. When you went to the Things conference 2 years ago, there were makers and there were radio amateurs, there were lots of enthusiasts. And 1 year later, the corporates, they really started to arrive. And what I believe, what is supposed to happen next, now it is the time to get the citizens involved, because they are also the ones that have use cases that are not just for the good for themselves, but for the whole community, for lots of other citizens and companies as well. And to get them involved, easily accessible hardware and infrastructure is required. Because as we all know now, if you have a look at a manual for IoT hardware, many times there are little mistakes in, it's about the wrong version, not the version for the product that you are using, and often it's not so easy to understand for the technical non-native. But it's also the technical non-native that bring many interesting use cases. And so what I believe in, that it's citizen participation that is required to implement many more use cases that actually contribute to our society. And what I've done here, I've brought some of those use cases. First of all, what it's about technical education, training the non-technical natives how to use the LoRa technology. And it's not just about teaching it to students, but also to adults or even to seniors. And this is a really great project from Germany. It was part of the Digitalgipfel, the digital summit community. And this is the IoT Octopus. It contains an ESP8266, various LEDs, various sensors, and it's got this LoRaWAN wing on top. And even if you can program, you can use those so-called ALU blocks. And what's the community behind the IoT Octopus? What they are currently doing is, they are going to schools, they are organizing hackathons at schools, and it's really the students that have got those really amazing ideas which are then implemented with the IoT Octopus. For instance, these students, they developed this wardrobe, which is like getting weather data, so it can tell you what you should wear according to the climate outside. This is the letterbox that contains an ultrasonic sensor, and it transmits via LoRaWAN. And if it's empty or full, meaning if you are on vacation, you can have transmitted to your neighbor if he has to come over and empty your letterbox or not. And this is a fish tank, an aquarium. And the students, they have decided they want to monitor the water quality, the pressure within the water circulation, and it even contains a camera so that the fish can take selfies. So those are like maker projects, which have been very good for technical education in the area of LoRaWAN. And then there's another really nice use case from my hometown, Berlin, where we are right now. It's been implemented by the Technologiestiftung Berlin. They are contributing to open data and digitalizing the public administration in Berlin. And they've got the hacking box, which contains a whole lot of Arduinos, Calliopes, Raspberry Pis, all sorts of different LoRaWAN shields, sensors, soldering irons, hot glue guns, and everybody can just go there and borrow this hacking box for their own projects. So it's like for very small ones that are building LED flowers, and it's also for university students that have built this LoRaWAN weather station. So it really gets everybody involved with the technology. And then, of course, there are also the companies, the corporates that also contribute to education in the area of LoRaWAN and IoT. For instance, if you're familiar with the PAX Counter, an open source project which has been developed by employees of Deutsche Bahn, they are coming with the LoRaWAN PAX Counter to our classes at HTB next week. So it's really also, I believe, the task of the companies to educate citizens, students about LoRaWAN and to ensure that their future employees and also that citizens, they can bring their own LoRa use cases to life. And then, this is one of my very favorite use cases from Germany. It's called Seniors Learning Online, and the idea behind is that LoRaWAN is used as a facilitator, as an enabler, that seniors can live at home for as long as possible. It's really about having seniors teaching other seniors about technology. So basically, they've got those little sensors that are communicating via LoRaWAN, and so a person of trust can monitor if the senior with the sensor, if he or she uses his coffee maker, if he or she switches the light on or off, or if he or she leaves the house, meaning people, they can feel safe at home much longer because they know their person of trust or their relative is, like, they realize if there's been no motion at all for a few hours or a couple of days. And this is enabled by LoRaWAN as well. And then, of course, it's not just about the citizens, but it's also about the cities the citizens are living in and their public administrations. And yesterday here in Berlin was the big opening of the City Lab Berlin, which is a digital lab for the public administration and the citizens of Berlin. And they are also working with LoRaWAN. Two of their first projects are gonna be the Internet of Trees, meaning that trees in the city of Berlin, they are gonna be monitored if they need water, and then there's gonna be open data where the citizens of Berlin, they can see, oh, there's a tree close to my place, which is like really in dire need of water, so I might go over there and put some water on it. And then, because the City Lab, it's located right on the Tempelhofer Feld, which is a former airport. So there's lots of space, and now it's an area for recreation. and many citizens of Berlin, they go there to do kite flying. So another LoRaWAN project of the City Lab is gonna be wind speed measurements for kite flying right in front of their door, which is also very nice for the population of Berlin. And yeah, also my students, they've been doing the first projects, the first IoT and AI pieces for the City Lab of Berlin, which have been shown yesterday for the first time. So also in this regard, it's about education. It's really about bringing the newest technologies like LoRaWAN out into universities, into senior homes, and to the citizens. And yeah, and besides the City Lab in Berlin, there are also so many other places around Europe, around the world, around Germany, where LoRaWAN is being used for the good of communities. For instance, in Moers, they had a LoRaWAN hack day where lots of ideas were generated. And one idea was a so-called Freibad checker, which is about like a Freibad is a swimming pool in German, and what they do, they have got like this swimming pool, and which is a bit outside of the city, and they are going to be using LoRaWAN to monitor the temperature, because often it's quite cold because it's pretty deep, so you can know in advance if it's worth going there for swimming or not, because it's not a heated one. And then they've got the festival tracker, and basically there's this very big festival going on in Moers once a year, and like this festival tracker is being used to track a band, which is basically it's moving around the festival. So you've got this app and you can like track where the band is located right now. And yeah, another use case, it's about obstacle alerts for instance, for people sitting in a wheelchair, or also if you've got a baby stroller or so on. So with LoRa you can transmit where an obstacle is, and it's also shown in the map. Those are pretty nice use cases with LoRaWAN from Moers. Another community which is, in my opinion, really at the forefront of using LoRaWAN is Herrenberg. They are using LoRaWAN for their winter service. Like before, this guy, he had to get up in the morning and had to go check if there's ice or snow. So he had to decide, he had to go check if people have to be sent out to shovel the snow. But now, not anymore, because now they've got like a sensor inside the ground at the place where like it's always icy the first, and then they've got like a weather station on top for like sensor fusion right next to it. And this guy who had to get up very early in the morning, now he can stay in bed, look at his app, he sees the data, and yeah, either stay in bed or get up if there's actually snow, which is really good for the community. Then they're using parking sensors, like on the one side, to tell if a parking space is available or not, but also, like for fire lanes, because it's very dangerous. The fire lane is blocked and the fire truck, it cannot leave the building. So they're also using those sensors in front of fire stations to see if the fire truck can go outside freely, or if somebody might have parked there illegally. And this third use case from this city is trash can monitoring. So it's about the big trash cans below the ground, and they are monitoring when they have to be emptied. It's also quite a good use case. And besides, like when we talk about cities, when we talk about citizens, it's always also about the environment. And there I've brought also a nice use case from the south of Germany. They've got this website, luftdaten.info, which is pretty famous in Germany. It's a use case by the OK Lab, by a community promoting open source and open data in Germany. And yeah, they developed this manual for a particle matter sensor that pretty much everybody can build himself based on a Node MCU ESP8266 and then implement outside of his house or wherever he wants to. Like initially, the sensor and it transmitted the data via Wi-Fi, but now since LoRaWAN became more and more available, and many of the users switched to LoRaWAN because in many spots where you wanna measure what the particle matters look right now there's no Wi-Fi available. So this was a really good improvement for this use case. And like it's quite interesting to see like if those sensors they are implemented and they are applied in front of the school where like parents they are complaining that the air is so bad. You can see the air actually gets a lot worse when the parents they are arriving to pick up their kids with the SUV. Like before you had no data, but now you've got lots of data thanks to LoRaWAN and thanks to this sensor. And yeah, those citizen science projects, they provide so much data, and like with this data from those sensors, it's all open, and on luftdaten.info you can see a big map where you see the most up-to-date information on particle matter, temperature, air humidity and so on, which can be very helpful. And yeah, I brought a little video on a very similar project. So this Sensei-O box was developed at a cycle hack in Berlin as well. And as you can see, there's like really need for projects in the area of the environment. And since you want to take those measurements pretty much everywhere, LoRaWAN is a very well suitable technology for those use cases. And to sum it up, I hope you've seen there are so many use cases around where LoRaWAN is applied by citizens, and there are actually use cases being developed where the whole society and not one single person can profit from, and they all pretty much started with a combination of technical educations like workshops, hackathons, or the hacking box, which you can borrow, and also easily accessible hardware and infrastructure like sensors, prototyping boards, which come with instructions that even non-technical natives can understand, and LoRaWAN gateways that are available to the public. And I believe like the more the LoRaWAN technology and IoT technology is made available to technical non-natives, there will be even more new fields of use cases coming alive. It can be the kindergartner who wants to track toys. It can be the gardener who wants to monitor the level of humidity related to his plants, or it can be somebody working in the field of ethnology or whatever, but somebody who has no relation whatsoever to technology. But we have to enable those people to work with LoRaWAN to bring their use cases alive. Because like many of those use cases, as we have seen in the examples I have brought, they do not solely contribute to the good of one single person, but they do have an impact on cities, on municipalities, and on the environment as a whole. Thank you.